In the heart of Egypt, where towering stone walls surrounded Pharaoh's grand palace, Moses and Aaron stood before the most powerful ruler on earth. The tension in the air was palpable. Moses, once a prince in Egypt, now a reluctant leader, was about to stand before Pharaoh again. But this time his message was different. Moses was no longer the man he had been, the man who fled in fear years ago. No, today he was God's messenger, armed with his authority and the weight of a divine calling. By his side stood Aaron, his brother, ready to speak the words Moses struggled to voice. Pharaoh, seated on his majestic throne, looked down upon the brothers with a gaze of indifference. His kingdom was thriving, his rule unchallenged. To him, Moses and Aaron were nothing more than two men in tattered robes who dared to challenge his authority.
Pharaoh, the Lord, the God of Israel, says, "Let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness."
Pharaoh's expression hardened. He leaned forward, his gaze cold and piercing.
Who is the Lord that I should obey his voice and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and moreover, I will not let Israel go.
Moses and Aaron exchanged a glance. The challenge had been issued, but Moses had been prepared for this moment, and he did not flinch.
The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Let us go, we pray, 3 days' journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. Otherwise he will fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword.
Pharaoh sneered at Moses' words. The audacity of this man, this shepherd, standing before him, demanding that he release the Israelite slaves, was something Pharaoh could not tolerate.
Why do you take the people from their work? Get back to your burdens.
Pharaoh rose from his throne, his voice booming through the court.
Look at all these slaves you speak of. You are disrupting the work of my kingdom. There will be no time for sacrifices. You will return to your labor, and you will not speak of this again.
Moses and Aaron stood their ground even as Pharaoh's anger grew. They knew the mission was just beginning, but they could feel the weight of God's power behind them. Moses spoke again, his voice steady but firm.
The God of Israel is not a God to be ignored. If you refuse to listen, the consequences will be dire. God will strike Egypt with a mighty hand. Let my people go, or else you will see his power.
Pharaoh's laughter echoed throughout the hall.
You speak of power, but I am the power here. I am Pharaoh. No God has ever challenged me, and no God will. Your God is weak, and you will see that I will not bow to your demands.
The tension between the two men was thick. Moses and Pharaoh were worlds apart, one led by divine command, the other by arrogance and pride. Without another word, Pharaoh motioned to his guards.
Take them away. I will not entertain these foolish requests any longer.
As Moses and Aaron were escorted out of the palace, they knew this was only the beginning.
Pharaoh's heart was hardened, but God had prepared us for this.
The confrontation had failed, but it was not over.
God's plan was just beginning to unfold, and Moses knew the time would soon come when Pharaoh would see the power of the Lord. Pharaoh's palace. Day Moses and Aaron left Pharaoh's court, their hearts heavy with the weight of the task before them. They had delivered God's message, but Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and the battle for the freedom of the Israelites was just beginning. They knew that soon Egypt would witness the power of the Almighty in ways that would change everything.